Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to my September TBR. Wow, how are we going into fall already? I just can't with it. I'm ready for it though. The summer has been so much, and with September for me is coming a new job. So I don't know how many of these beauties that I'm about to show you that I'm going to get through. But I'm going to do my best, y'all. I'm going to do my best. I want to try to read a lot of physical books this month. I also have audiobooks for quite a few of these. I have no idea what this new role, like how much reading I'll be able to do. I know I said that with the last one, and then I ended up being able to read pretty much nonstop at work. But this one I'll actually be at the, like I'm an admin assistant slash secretary slash executive assistant. Like I'm going to be doing all these things. So I don't know what that's going to look like. But I'm excited about it. I'm super excited about it. So we're going in with high expectations for the month and we'll see what happens. I've also started a new book journal that's like a dot journal. And just because I don't think I'm going to be getting the Inkling Designs reading planner next year, and not that I don't highly recommend it, like it's great, it's just not really built for the number of books that I read yearly. You know, last year it was a thing. I read 700 books last year, and that is set up more for someone who reads maybe 200 books a year or less, right? So I like the idea of the dot journals where I can kind of fill in what I want. So I did my little September TBR is on there. I won't spoil it for you, but, anyway, that's a random side note. I have a little baggie full of pens too. This I got in Gianna Darling's like anti-heroes thing, and it perfectly fits all my pens. So I'm a happy camper for that. But anyway, let's get started with the September reads this time. So the only buddy read slash, book club that I have picked currently right now is Lord of Scoundrels. This is a reread for me. This was also on my August TBR, but I just ended up not being in a super historical mood. This is going to be the Rake Appreciation Society pick for September. I'm very excited to make Kristo finally finish this book. Both me and Jesson and so many people have been trying to get her to read it, and now she has to because it's going to be our pick. Here is the step back of this one. This book is about Dane and Jessica and their crazy hijink adventures. The live show for this will be on Kristo's channel the 2nd Thursday in September, and I am super excited for it. The month of September, I am not planning to do a channel buddy read. It hasn't been being super successful lately, and with starting the new job, I just don't want the pressure of having to like finish a book if I'm not jiving with it. But we'll see how much people miss it, and if they really want it to happen again, we'll revisit maybe in October. But so that's the only buddy read that I have scheduled. So let's go through books that are arcs or new releases that I plan to read in September. So a book that I have an arc for is With You Forever by Chloe Leese. This comes out September 14th. This is the 4th book in the Bergman Brothers series. I've read book 3, which was actually the Bergman sister. I'm planning to get to this book real soon. I might even still read it in August because I think it was on my TBR for August as well. Then I have an arc for A Duke Most Unusual by Susanna Allen. This actually doesn't come out till December, but I believe this is a paranormal bear shifter duke, I think. And I'm kind of in a paranormal mood, so I'm very interested to see what a historical paranormal would do for me. So I have that one. I also have an arc for, I say this, one of the few fantasy duos that I will still read who write YA, and I have an arc for Aurora's End by Amie, Kaufman, and Kristo. This series holds a very sweet place in my heart, and I really love it. Like, I still loved Aurora Burning when that one came out, so I'm very excited to see Aurora's End and see what happens to all my babies. This one doesn't come out till November 9th, but I want to read it because, again, I've been in a really weird mood, and I think I might be in a sci-fi, this is a sci-fi, not a fantasy, sorry, mood. Then another book by J. Kristo that comes out in September is actually Empire of the Vampire. And I heard that this is going to be very bloody, very sexy, very scary. And I know that while Jay was, oh, I love following Jay. I really, really do. I've actually met him. He's one of just a handful of authors I've met. When I went to visit my best friend in Salt Lake City, I have a signed copy of Aurora, of the first one. Aurora, I can't remember right now, but I have a signed copy of that book and a picture with him actually. So anyway, when he was writing this book, he became obsessed with the Vampire Diaries and he's like binged the show, and he actually, like, him and Joseph Morgan like got in contact with each other and he sent Joseph Morgan a copy of his book. So anyway, I really want to read it. I think this is going to be very dark fantasy. It's supposed to be super bloody and I really want to read it. It's a chunker too. I might end up getting the audiobook for this one. Then also some other books that come out in September that I plan to read is The Lady by Serena Ackroyd. The Dawn actually comes out the end of August, so I'm going to read that. And then this one comes out just 2 weeks later, or a week later, I believe, and it is The Lady. So this is a duet, The Dawn and The Lady, that is going to fit into the 5 Points series. So the covers for this are gorgeous. Saint by Sierra Simone. This is the third like standalone in her Bell Brothers series. This one is about, this is going to be a male monk romance. Like they're at a monastery. I'm here for it. I need nothing else. And then The Legacy by Elle Kennedy. This is supposed to have a like original novella in it, but then also have like follow-ups for the other 4 books. I don't know. It's listed as book 5 in the series, but I think it's like a novella bind up. Either way, I will be reading that because I freaking love this series. So those are all the arcs and new releases. Then I did my TBR tin, and let's go through the 5 books I picked from there. If you don't know, I put this together last year. It has a bunch of different prompts. I'm actually looking to probably redo these prompts soon, just because, you know, your reading like tweaks a little bit as you go. And this is all based on romance, but I'd like to kind of change it up again. So keep an eye out on my Instagram. I may have you guys give me some prompts again soon. So anyway, I pull 5 each month and try to use it to pick books. So let's go through these 5 cards. So this one was a romance where one of them is taking refuge. And this is from Aurora BK. Probably here. Read that card. And so for that one, that was perfect because one of the books I want to try to read is Dangerous by Minerva Spencer. So this is the prequel series to her traditionally published, well, this was traditionally published, but they have those, it's notorious, like they have those like shadowed covers. There's Outrageous and Notorious or whatever. And this is actually like the prequel series that was about like the parents and everything. So this one is about Lady Euphemia, who was kidnapped and sold to a sultan when she was a child. And so her son with the sultan is actually the hero in one of the other books, which was what made me fall in love with Minerva Spencer. I've also read her erotic pen name. But this one is about then Adam de Courtenay, who his first 2 wives died mysteriously. And there isn't any women in England who are willing to marry him because of that. And so Mia's father decides to marry her off. And so I picked this as her taking refuge because, you know, she's escaped from being under the Sultan's thumb. She's considered an outcast because she was a member of this guy's harem for a really long time. And yeah, so I decided to kind of make it fit into this one. We'll see how it works. But yeah, this is Dangerous. And I've been wanting to read this book. I believe it's on Anyplay. And yeah, I really like her writing in the other stuff I've read, so I'm going to give this one a go. I believe this was her first, at least her first under this pen name, and it was a blurb by Elizabeth Hoyt, so we're going to do that one. Then there was a book that is blue, and for that one, I picked Hook by Gina L. Maxwell. I actually have a signed one of this. I bought this one as a cast-off book from one of the book boxes because it was seriously just slightly bumped, and so it was only like $7 to get a signed copy. I've heard really good things about this. I know it's not the first book in the series, but a lot of my friends read it as a standalone, and I know this is an MM, and it's between Captain Hook and John Darling is the setup. So I'm very excited to read this one. I think it's like, it's either MC or like Mafia, and like John Darling is a police officer and Hook is the captain of the pirates. And I'm here for it. I know a lot of my friends read this book. So that is going to be an author that's new to me, or that I've never read before. Then there was from my lovely Kristo, one of hers, which was read a non-Regency historical. And for that one, I picked... When does this one take place? Let me double check. I knew when it takes place. This is Elisa Kleypas anyway, Because You're Mine. So it's one of them that I haven't read. And this one is about, this one takes place in 1833, which is after the Regency, because the Regency is from 1811 until 1820. So technically this takes place in the after period, but before the Victorian era kind of thing. And this one is about Madeline Matthews, who is supposed to wed an aging, lecherous lord, but she would rather shame herself than sacrifice her freedom, so she resolves to render herself unmarriageable by having an affair with Logan Scott. So he's a legend in the footlights and in the bedchamber, but when the curtain falls, Logan is an intensely private, guarded man, still tormented by past betrayals that cut deep into his pride and his heart. Now, a forward little minx who seems completely out of place in the bright, sophisticated world of London's stage is disrupting his orderly existence with her constant presence. Her unspoiled beauty and vibrant charm, and what begins with an onstage kiss threatens to blossom into something more rapturous and real. But first, Logan and Madeline must be brave enough to drop the mask they hide behind and reveal their true selves in the golden, glorious light of love. Oh my God, Lisa Kleypas has me getting the feels, and all I've read is the back. So let's see. This one came out in 1997. So we're going to do that. We're going to try to get to that. I wish I had the step back of this one, but I only have that. So that one was non-Regency historical. Never read before. I like mix them together. This one was for a book that is blue, but I've also never read the author, so I was confusing my cards. Because the other card that I have is read an author you've never read before. And even though I've never read that author, I'm using this book for that. Sorry, I had the stack of books here and I was like, wait, I'm confused. So this is Deep Desire by Z.A. Maxfield. I don't know much about this one at all, except that it is, I believe, a vampire story. I think it's paranormal. And it says... As the Indiana Jones of historical erotica, there is no document Aidan Tredegar can't unearth. Why he would risk the biggest coup of his career to join the Mile High Club is beyond him. Nevertheless, this disarming dark-haired vampire, Dante, somehow enters Aidan's locked airplane washroom and has him completely nude and coming apart, all within a whimper of protest. From that moment, Aidan and Dante engage in an international battle of wit and cunning. The prize is a priceless 500-year-old journal with illustrations so erotic the Marquis de Sade would blush. Yet Dante's desire for the journal goes far beyond simple possession. He wrote it, and he's not above using every trick in his otherworldly arsenal, including seduction, to get his journal back. Oh my God, this is MM! I didn't even freaking know that! But I found this one at Barnes & Noble, and I bought it just because it was a, like, an indie book that was there. So this is for an author I've never read before. Sorry for the confusion. Because then the last one is read a book from your backlist. And that one for me is going to be Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. I actually was able to find the first two of these books at Barnes & Noble as well, which just tickled me pink, as you would say. Made me very happy. And I've been meaning to read the Bargainer series forever. People have been shouting it at me. I've tried other series by Laura Thalassa with here or there success. She's not my fave, but I also think that this series could be the one. I'm not sure if this one is a Haiti and Persephone's retelling or if it's something like that, but I know she's a siren, and I know that she owes a bunch of IOUs to this demon, and he's coming to collect them. So I have Rhapsodic. It says, make a deal if you dare. And I have the second book in the series as well, so we'll see how that goes. But we are going to try to get to this one. Okay, so those are the ones that are for the TBR tin. And then I have some books that are my just because list. So these are just books that are on my physical TBR that I want to try to get to. The main ones for this is going to be the Element series by Brittany C. Cherry. So recently my friend Avery did a TikTok about the Silent Waters, and it kind of went bananas. Like seriously, it went super viral on Book Talk and TikTok, and that is amazing. Avery is one of the sweetest people ever. And now I've had this series on my radar for ages because I've seen both The Gravity of Us, I've seen The Air He Breathes, and I've seen The Silent Waters mentioned by various people that they really love it. And so I decided, well, no, here's what happened. Actually, one of my viewers was kind enough to send me a bunch of books from her library because she is downsizing some of her books. And she sent me this whole series physically. These were already some books that were on my radar, and I think I even have The Air He Breathes. I have the Kindle version of it. And then when these all showed up on my doorstep, I was like, okay, it's time to do it. So my hope is in September to binge this whole series. So there's The Air He Breathes, The Fire Between High and Low, The Silent Waters, and, whoa, cut my eyeball off. Woo! And The Gravity of Us. So those are the Elements series, and I'm going to try to read those. Then I also want to try to read All the Little Lies. So I actually have a signed copy of this. And I actually got this in a book box from Romance Reveal Book Club, where you can fill out a survey and you can choose like dark romance, mafia, enemies to lover. Like you can choose the tropes that you like. And then they will send you indie pub and traditionally pub books that fit into it. So I happened to get this in one of the book boxes, and then I also happened to stumble upon the author on TikTok, and all the TikToks that she puts out about this book, I feel like I'm really going to like it. It has to do with a prep school, and there's this girl who's been being abused by her foster father, I believe, and then this guy who used to be her friend, now I think it's kind of a bully situation, but he becomes obsessed with her and like lightly stalks her and wants to take care of her. That's what I get. So this is All the Little Lies by S.J. Silvis, and I want to try to read this one for sure. Then I've really, I found this book at Barnes & Noble, and I grabbed it immediately because whenever I see Kay Webster, I grab her books. She has so many books, and I want them all, and it's impossible because she has so many. But some of her books are showing up at Barnes & Noble now. And this was one that I wanted. This actually came out in 2016, which is crazy. But it's Whispers and Roars by Kay Webster. I don't know anything about this. Everyone tells me to go in blind. That's what we're going to do. But I'm going to try to read this one in September. And then the last physical book that I have on my TBR is actually 4 books. And that is the bind up of the Merciless series by Willow Winters. I've also started following her on TikTok, and this book was at Barnes & Noble. And I actually have Merciless already, and I have the audiobook for it, but this bind up was there, so I'm going to read all of these. There's Merciless, Heartless, Breathless, and Endless, and I'm going to try to read them. I believe this is BDSM with like romantic suspense and everything, so that's going to happen. So there we go. That is all the books that I'm going to try to read in September. I don't know how successful I'll be or what's going down, but we're going to do our best because that's what we do. So thank you so much for watching this video. I put up new videos 3 to 4 times a week. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out my links down below if you want to, you know, follow me some more, you stalker. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.